I'm recording the video.
Okay, no problem, no problem. So we'll start with the radar. So what we have is a 3.8-inch Windows Phone 7 with the codename Mango release on it. A few additions to the software, but we'll talk about the hardware first of all. Obviously, it's a as I mentioned, 3.8-inch screen. We have a forward-facing camera at the top of the device here now as well. You'll see there's a 5-megapixel camera with a single LED flash on the back. And the usual 3 Windows buttons across the bottom. You have your back button, your Windows button, and your search Bing button. We'll talk about those first of all. The back button now, if you press and hold, will launch a multitasking screen that you can go straight into things that you've had open previously. And the Windows button will activate voice commands and all sorts of other bits and pieces as well when you press and hold. Just go back to the beginning here. Press and hold this button. And you have voice commands available to you there as well. So these buttons do all sorts of different things. Obviously, a big part of the new edition of Mango is letting HTC obviously have further developments in regards to it. So we've made a few changes to the HTC hub, which I'll just go into. There's a very familiar plot that everyone seems to know in regards to HTC devices. We slide across, and we have the stock news and featured applications available to you as well. What's different with this release is you wouldn't need to download the Attentive phone or the photo enhancer apps from here as they're already pre-installed on the device. So there's some highlights of games here like Monopoly and obviously things that you would normally get from the Windows Phone Marketplace. So we just press the Windows key to go back. And as I said, if we wanted to go back into that, you can then just press and hold the back button, just showing off there the true multitasking capabilities of Windows Phone 7. So we'll go into the HTC Watch service. So either we can go from a task I had open before, or go into HTC Watch from here. So HTC Watch is familiar for the guys from our Android devices. We've now brought it over to Windows Phone. We have the featured movies just like on Android there, and you also have the recent movies you've connected to, and also your library that you've downloaded. So you go into the video store and pick a movie. You can see you have your familiar trailer, rent or buy icons at the top there as well. Synopsis, cast, and obviously general bits of information about the movie there as well. So the Watch service, new to Windows Phone 7, but not new obviously to HTC in regards to our Android devices as well. We have the familiar connected media app available on these handsets as well. DLNA capability, so you can stream obviously over Wi-Fi to a DLNA enabled source, and you can scroll through that very simply just by going left or right. So we'll go back to the beginning. So in regards to this particular device, that's the main changes in regards to software. If we look at the camera, we've added a few new features within here as well. So we go to the settings menu, we have scenes and also effects. We also have panorama and burst shot as an add-on as well. So panoramic shot. So I press the button, and then you just follow the dotted line. Without pressing that button again, I will just activate the panoramic shot, and then again, and then it stitches the photos together and you have that sort of panoramic effect. New to the software for us, with the 28mm lens on the back and an aperture of 2.2, f2.2, sort of features you would find on a very high-end SLR camera. So that's the radar device.
And what about processor?
So this is a 1 GHz processor. Qualcomm 1 gig, and an 8 GB internal storage available to you.
8 GB of storage and 1 gig of RAM.
Yes, that's right, yeah.
And what about pricing and availability?
Don't know about the pricing, obviously depending on each audience. Availability, as soon as possible, basically, hopefully before the end of this month.
And the battery is removable or not?
Not on this device. On the Titan it is, but on the radar, no.
So it's spelled as radar, so R-A-D-R?
R-A-D-A-R.
Okay, so it's radar.
Yeah, exactly. So we have Titan. Titan
is spelled as T-Y-T-O-N.
T-I-T-O-N. T-I-T-A-N.
T-I-T-I-N. Okay. Like the metal.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Because you had Titan like with T-Y-T-N.
T-Y-T-N, yeah, exactly.
And can you please hold it?
Yeah, sure.
And it has 4.7.
4.7 inch, yeah, the biggest device.
And the resolution?
The resolution, good question. I'll have to check the tech specs for that, I'm not too sure. It is an SLCD screen.
And then?
So as you can see, you have the dual LED flashes here to support the 8 meg camera again a 28mm lens with the f2.2 aperture on there as well to let more light in when you're taking your pictures. This model will be available in 16 gigabytes. And again, running Windows Phone 7 or Windows Phone codename Mango. I'll just go through a few features of Windows Phone, as you've seen most of the HTC features on Radar. So a few new features in the people tile. We have now groups that you can have, so you can add, rather than adding a contact, you can also add a group. So if you have your work colleagues or your friends and you want to keep them all separate, you can just go into new group and add the contacts to that. We'll just show you some example groups that are in here already. So we have family and work. The great thing about this is you can see all their information that's pulled down from Facebook, Twitter, Windows Live, and also LinkedIn. So there's 4 new places that information can be pulled from. If you scroll down to the bottom, you can text or send an email to everybody. If all those people are linked to social networking sites, you can message them through that or through email, depending on your preference. You can also pin that group to the start menu as well, just by pressing the pin. So we'll go back. And you can see you've got your familiar What's New feed here, but instead of just everything What's New, that would be just specific to that one group. So if that group are Twitter fanatics or people that are posting on Facebook a lot, you would see all their Facebook and Twitter feeds from there as well. And then also it would order them in the most recent people that you've been in contact with as well. So a few nice subtle changes I'd like to say really in regards to the people tile. In regards to other bits and pieces, within the email section on the device, we've also got threaded email. So you can see, I see Linda has been trying to get in touch with me. There's 2 messages, one of which is unread. As you can see your message history with that person through email. Obviously this is something that's apparent in text messaging, but now through email, and it's brilliant to see. And you can have that through all your email accounts, whether it's work, Hotmail, Gmail, or whoever other email accounts you have on the device. So if you just go back out of that, you scroll down to the bottom, as you can see the familiar tiles are all here. We have the local scout as an add-on here as well that's brought in from Bing. It will tell you what's nearby, so if you're staying in a hotel or a city you've never been before, it will tell you exactly what's near, whether it's a restaurant you're looking for or a bar. Obviously the Wi-Fi in here is not so good, but you can see in the background there you've got eat and drink, so it would look at local restaurants. The next one is shopping. You can see local shopping areas. You've also got attractions as well that are local to you. There we go. See and do, shopping, and some highlights, where the tourism highlights. And if you go into one of these, you can also see the address. You can call straight from there as well. So you want to book a restaurant, you could just tap that. You wouldn't need to search any further into Bing. It would all be just through the local scout. Very, very useful and very intuitive. If it's somewhere you use a lot, you can also pin that to the start menu too, just by pressing a little pin, and it will go to the bottom there, and it's that local place for you. Okay.
Okay.
So